this is the observation I have to make there. Uh, I'll go back to the past and then I come back to the present. There's the old school spirituality. In old school spirituality, it is known that uh, there are two phases of what we call the master, the inner and the outer master, where there is no master with a new presentation. So as you say, we all stand equal with life, the real guides and the always. Yeah, but there is a nagging question here. You are presenting the new presentation, and we look up to you for real guidance. Now, do we look up to the blood and flesh man writing the new books, the studied discourses, or to the inner unlimited form or awareness that animates this flesh temple, like the one that this guy encountered on the real side? You see, I think it's quite different from Duane, who is speaking to me now. You see, well, it is known that there is no perfection or completeness in the flesh, and but I think Duane has not made this drawn this fine line between Duane, the man, the flesh and blood man, and that inner, unlimited, unrestricted form that we should look. That is the real real guide. So, who are we to unconditionally look up to for true guidance then? Guidance. Is it you talking to me now, or the other, what I may call the body of glory?
Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay. The personal side here. Here's the idea. Everybody decides and they have a choice. You know, I have a choice. I choose. You know, I go surfing with Val and Kelsey. I decide to do that. That's their bodies. Okay. So again, I see them out there. They go in the water. They do funny things. Okay. The fish chase them. Whatever. All right, so Duane, the guy Duane here, I see the difference between me and the real me. It's like there's two. And everybody can make the choice, and that is that Duane, the guy here, this guy here bothers everybody, okay? One way or another, I bother everybody. I get that. That's that part. If you don't want to be bothered, then don't relate to this part. But again, this is how the world is, and through being bothered, and Paul was the same. You know, Paul had attitudes. They were very direct, actually, in the personal self. And this is just how it is with the personal self here, because this is how life is. It's just a matter of fact of how it is, and the real side. And so I look at the two. As I look at people, as I look at you, as I look at the Africans, as I look at the people that I know here, I see the two parts also. And I look to both parts. I look to others to have experiences for myself. If I was here all by myself, who would I be interacting with, you see? So again, it's a matter of choice, isn't it? But both are needed because there's a comparison. So I'm not going to tell people that you need me. That's not the idea. No. And I'm not going to say that I need others. No. But it's a fact. It's a reality here that we really need each other physically and on the real side. Okay, that life is that recognition, and this part here leads to that recognition. So this part here you might say, is the agitation, which it is. Everything here is agitation. And this agitation is what brings about the recognition. All of a sudden, we decide to look, the idea is within ourselves, but really, it's a recognition. It's not within, because there is no within. There's no without. It's just you recognize. It's a recognition. It's an isness. And so it's not to where, like you made the statement, look up to. And Paul referred that to the two faces of the master. Again, these were the babysitting days that Paul was in. This is what he did. He was the babysitter. And all these things are still the babysitters. And so now we're getting into the real part of it, where we have a comparison to recognize the true reality life is, more so than just carrying ideas and looking to ideas like gods and saviors and masters and all. These are ideas. Excuse me. And the reality is that it's become more so because, again, I saw it myself come in. This is why I called it the new nowness. And it's exactly that. And everybody's in their own time frame. They're still looking at these old aspects. And it's not about me. It's not looking up to. Okay. Again, it's recognizing what's really taking place. And you'll notice that when people write or say something, they're referring to old ideas that they've known, you see. And so again, it's like, oh, well, Duane thinks he's the master, or he's the mini Mahanta, or all these things. See, they're looking to their own ideas. I never talk about any of that. I am talking about recognizing the true reality life is, and from that, then you will see what's taking place. In the experience that you just expressed, what the individual is seeing is what I recognize. You see? It is not that life has made me glorious. That's not it. Life is beyond mention. You'll never get to the true reality of it because it's endless. This is the best part. But what is being seen and experienced is what I recognize. And so again, you don't need attitudes about it. And it's not about the outer or inner, but all of it, like I've said, all of creation is necessary. This is the agitation here. The personal side here creates the agitation. It really does. And it's just like in Paul's day. And just like if someone wants to meditate, starting off, it's like, oh, gee, I have to meditate. I have to sit down and I have to quiet my mind. And I have to do this or that, or I have to be a vegetarian or whatever. See, again, that's an agitation, isn't it? But to get certain things to happen, you need to deal with the agitation that's going on. Now we're being more real here, aren't we? It's not just a bunch of cliches or sound good ideas that really make you feel comfortable. You want a little comfort zone so you feel good with these ideas. Oh, God loves me. Jesus loves me. Oh, these are cute little ideas, aren't they? But that's all they are. They're not. You're not recognizing the true reality life is, are you? So the Duane part, I try to be as nice as I can. Okay, I don't always like being nice, but the thing is that I try to be as nice as I can. But my focus is on providing a better understanding for people to recognize this true reality, and it can be recognized through so many different situations. You kind of accumulate your awareness, just like what Val is going through mainly. He's the main guy. I pick on him as the main guy to go through this because he's going to head up to university. It's very important. He's got a very important position. All of us do if we're willing to do it, like you and everybody else. Okay? And so this is the idea. But it's so cool now. It's not the same. It's not this old baggage ideas. It is that recognition. And you decide, you have to earn that. You have to earn that recognition, and you decide how you're going to do it. And this is where there is no difference between us. It's simply a matter of what you recognize. And this is where we share and support with each other and trust each other accordingly. And I don't like to use that word trust, but I like isness better. It's more so than that. And so again, each person decides their experience. So when it comes to the Duane here that's providing what it is in the physical sense, each person, they decide that for themselves. And the real side, you don't want to see, again, it's the old idea. Then it's like, well, okay, Duane seems a little harsh and he says these funny things, so I'm going to go to the real side and I'm just going to go there. Well, that's fine. But you see, eventually you're going to realize, just like this person did who came back that you were talking about, you're going to realize that you need all of it. I look at everything. I stand up to everything that comes my way. I deal with it all. I don't always like it, but I will, because I know it's all part of it, and I will get through it. And that's the only way you'll get through it, is when you stand up to it. It's not about likes and dislikes. This is where the individual really has to look at themselves. Do you like this or not like that or whatever? It's not about the likes or dislikes, but how you've positioned yourself with the likes and dislikes. Of course, you're not going to like this TV show, and you're not going to like that burrito stand, and whatever it is, or read that magazine. I don't like to watch the news, but it's not about like or dislike. It's just that I don't watch the news, as an example, because I can get it on Facebook. It's better than the news, as an example. Okay, so you learn to sort these things out, because now we're not collecting knowledge. We're not collecting information. We're not collecting sound good ideas as we have in the spiritual past. Everybody's looking for the so-called greater knowledge. That's why they go and pay all that money to go to the seminars to listen to Harry. Why? Because it's like, oh, maybe he's going to say something new, and I don't want to miss it. Well, I never went to the seminars for that. I did go to the seminars, and I liked them, and I had fun seeing the people and whatever. But it was the awareness. It was what I recognized, that, et cetera, just going through the experience. And I was fine contributing. I contributed all those years because it was part of it, just like what Val is going through. It's not a pleasure trip. And he's contributed. He's contributing a lot, and they don't see it. But to many people there, it's an agitation. They don't even want to see him. But he's getting the experience, and he's contributing a lot, and he's earning his way, and he's becoming more aware. And so this is the whole idea of what we're doing now. All the old cliches, they don't work. They don't work anymore. They look good, they're cute, they sound cute. But when you're looking for the comfort zone, it's not about that. It's about becoming more aware. That's your real freedom. Yes, not in sound good, comfy ideas. So again, we have the best position. And that is that everyone, you might say, must come to us to help them recognize this, because we're the ones that are providing real guidance and a real education like never before. But they make the choice. So again, yes, the outer Duane, this personal Duane, really is what it is. Not outer, but personal is what it is. And I'm not comfortable or happy with it. Not at all. I just deal with it. This is just how it is here. And this is not me. It's just something, it's like an old car. I got to deal with it. And so I'm always looking within my real awareness to constantly supersede it. And that's my adventure too. And to do better than just going along with this thing. So I like the confrontation. And the agitation is because that's cause and effect. That's automatic. So yes, I do bother people. But again, I really don't bother anybody. Everybody's bothered by themselves and the attitudes they decide. So again, when there's a so-called disruption, this is the fun part, Charles, in the group, there is no disruption. There's no such thing. Each person makes a choice. They want to be disturbed, fine. And so when you look at that, it's okay. It's okay to be disturbed. It's okay to be a little pissy and ornery and whatever. All of a sudden you look at it, then you realize how funny it is, and that it's okay. And then what did you get from that? It's all okay. So this is like the experience you were saying, and I see it. Where are these? As the world gets to be what it is, and the world is pushing on itself. The created consciousness here is pushing on itself, and people are being squeezed. And so they're going to constantly look for, a better understanding of things. But they got to go through the process too. There's really a process to this. And so this is where you become the risk taker, always taking the risk. Even when your life depends upon it, will you take the risk? You see, that's the fun part. So there's so many ways to say it, but you have helped ignite this. Plus, through this, these individuals are having the experiences. Yes. And they decide to focus. And so, again, that's their real survival, is their awareness. And then they'll have the capabilities they want. So instead of begging for this or that, or money or a lifestyle or a job, I understand. It's hard. Again, learn to become more aware and recognize what's going on. And again, if it's to where like Val and Kelsey are here and they've helped me. I struggled with the rent. People would think, oh, Duane's rich or whatever. No, I'm not. I've struggled with the rent. I've had to borrow money, etc. Because this is how it is. Because I've bitten off more than I can chew. And the picture constantly gets bigger and bigger and bigger. I can't even keep up with it. And so this is how it is in the physical sense. But as I struggle, it gets better, and the boys are laying it out. So this is going to be interesting, what shows up. But it is showing up. And so again, each person decides. But it's all necessary. Because, what's interesting is that as people come to get this so-called knowledge, what I write, what Paul wrote in the past, whatever, okay, then at a certain point, they get bored with it. They get bored thinking that, okay, I got this, and, oh, I see what Duane's doing now. He's this or that or whatever, you see. And so, again, that's usually what happens. And very few people will step up, like Val and Kelsey have and others, and will become totally involved, and will just go through it to see where it goes. Very few people will do that. They'll just kind of shuck it off and say, well, that's not spiritual, or that's not this or that, or whatever. They'll label it. Again, everything, every moment is your decision and how you see it and how you deal with it. And so as this has come up too, Charles, this individual, whatever, you see how it comes around. This is the fun part. And this is where you learn. You get away from being the know-it-all. Yeah. My part is that I'm not the know-it-all. I put life first. Life knows it. Life knows what it is. I'm just sharing what I discover from what it is. The very small parts, you see. I'm not the know-it-all. This is where, the title of the master and whatever and all these things, it's really kind of silly, I was shown Paul Newman. So that's where I got the new man idea from. I thought, okay, and as the new was revealed, etc. So this, I always saw it as an adventure. Yes, not a this or that or a category. That's why I liked the creation of the new presentation. It's not a category. There's no category for it. It's like, what is it? It's like, well, it's a presentation. There's no category. Yeah, so again, this is the fun part. This is where we're free to have fun. But again, we're here to learn how to support each other. And for those that step up, then they start to see it. But for those that have attitudes, they're looking through their attitudes. Well, you got your attitude for as long as you wanted. So, but the personal part here is in time and space, cause and effect. It's the agitated part. And I know that I bother people. Well, those that are around me, yes, I do bother people. And other people bother me too. And I deal with it. But this is how it is here. But as we get through this, as we better understand it and see it and deal with it, then we're a lot better off ourselves. Then we succeed, past, beyond, more so than just this, this area of being restricted and the effect of everything which we have. Yeah, you start to really see it as you get into it. And you start to see all these things that you've taken for granted, thinking that, oh, I like this and I like that and whatever. It's not about like or dislike. Are you recognizing what's taking place? Are you recognizing your unconscious agreements with all your restrictions that you've fallen in love with? You basically might say, there's the love. You already have the love. Why would they look for love from me? I'm only interested in the is. And so again, that's even better. But again, it's recognition, isn't it? Yes, thank you, Charles, for sharing. But yeah, that experience, thank you so much. And any of those things. You kids are going through a lot over there. They're going through a lot, but it's to their benefit. And fortunately, they have Miriam there. Miriam's wonderful. Yeah, she's a real person, and she's doing it. She's proving herself. So everything is fine. Whatever is taking place, it's fine. Just stand up to it, figure it out, and have fun with it. Yeah, it's like we're doing at the college here. Yes.
Yeah, Duane, what you've said, listen carefully uh, about having a personal self that you yourself you don't like. Uh, so you would have preferred to be in the real universes and get rid of this body. Yeah, and you also say that when other people, but it is meant to create an agitation for them to see more. Well, in fact, I don't know whether I'm getting it right, but if many more people understood this, it would be better. And then you also say that you're always looking up to your real awareness to supersede the personal self. Yeah, that is something. Is a very profound statement. Now, so that people should know that uh, uh, the personal Duane, uh, has some limitations, I can say, and that as you look up to your real awareness to overcome the personal self, so every other person should be doing the same, rather than looking up to uh, the personal Duane, for this and that. People think that maybe the new man is going to, the new man, I want to think there's a flesh and blood Duane, is going to turn things around for them, or maybe give some handout, something like that. You see, so what you've said is very profound. I've listened because I asked the question, I've got the answer very, very clearly. Thank you.